That demon in the cave. Kentaro, please. Please. Chill the fuck out. Wow. Welcome to Berserk, people. Let's get it. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Scout Reports. Today I'm bringing you an anime review of Berserk, episode 6. This episode was definitely the most disturbing episode of Berserk yet, or the most Berserk-like episode that we got from the series. But I think the biggest thing that we can take out of it is character development or character detail, as we got to pull the strings down on a lot of the characters that we're going to deal with in this arc. And the people that we've known so far. I mean, first and foremost, we get the ever so awesome Skull Knight showing up in this episode, even though it was brief and I really want more of this character, but it's still kind of sparse about who he is in the manga. And again, my manga knowledge on Berserk is shady because I haven't read the manga in easily 6 or 7 years besides the current arc. But I think at the point that we covered in this episode, we got a little bit more about the Skull Knight than they gave us, as he is still a very big part of the Berserk story, especially for where we're going in the future with this series. But anyway, he does show up to basically tell Berserk, hey dog, remember your boy Griffiths? Well, he's coming back, and if you thought the eclipse was bad, he's gonna make that shit look like a tea party with what he has planned right now. So he just shows up literally just to give Guts that premonition. And he was out just after that. And I wish they would have expanded on that a little bit more. I mean, if you're going to do filler, give me more of the Skull Knight. Who is he? Where is he from? I mean, we get little nuggets of details about him later on in this arc and later on in the series, as we still got a few more arcs to go before it gets to the point where it was no more content for a very long time. It was just the character so badass, and he's such a huge part of Berserk that I would have liked to have known more about him than just a little bit that we got of him just coming in and giving Guts a message and looking cool as hell. But this episode pretty much focused on the rest of the characters around. I mean, first and foremost, we get Casca, as you saw at the end of the last episode. She was right down there by the Tower of Conviction, then her tattoo started to bleed. Imminent danger coming her way. But we also see that she will get labeled as a witch in this episode, and that's the absolutely worst thing that can happen to the mentally broken Casca, and it matches up to the nightmare that Guts was having about her, and he found out that he needs to go save her right away, that she is in danger. So that leaves there, but we get a lot of time with Musgus and the Holy See in this episode, as we see that the people that follow Musgus, like his torturers or whatnot, yeah, they're bad people, they're evil, but at the same time, they even show that they might not actually want to be where they are. They might just not have a choice because maybe Musgus saved them or something like that. As we see like the two dwarf things that was with them, we see them just, sitting around chilling, feeding birds and playing around, even though they're sick torturers that they are. We saw like a different side of them there. And also that big one with the bird mask, he has some type of condition or disease where he can't go out into the sunlight because if sun gets on his skin, then he is literally burned alive. So it has to suck for him, showing a little bit of mercy for the devils in this episode, but they're still evil. Nothing is gonna take back the type of thing that they do to people in the name of the Holy See. But to show that these people have another side to them, and maybe they might not be going against their own accord, maybe just be following Musgus because of some type of loyalty, or maybe them being saved, was a big thing that was opened up in this episode. And it just kind of showed you the type of thing that Berserk can do, and the writing that Kentaro has, that he can make you care about the devils. I mean, look at Griffiths. I mean, there's some people out there that probably feel that Griffiths is right of what he did, But that's just Berserk. That's how it is. The biggest thing though was Musgus himself, as even when I read this in the manga, you look at him at base form when he's a human and say, this guy looks kind of weird. He looks kind of strange. There's something not right about him, and you can point out what he is automatically. But to see his devotion for the Holy See and what he's worshiping and the type of things he does to show his devotion, as this guy's literally banging his head against the ground. So that explains why his face looks the way it does. And I remember when I read that in the manga, I was cracking up. So it was good to see that again too, to kind of put two and two together. Like, yeah, if I banged my head against the ground 100 times a day, I'd be ugly as hell too and look like this guy. So we got that as well, opening up and again peeling more layers for Muzgus and what he believes and how far he goes into what he believes in this episode. And spread throughout the episode, we even get more on Farnese, Serpico, Isidoro. They almost touch base with everybody in the series, but the part I wanted to focus on was Farnese, as we see that she has some deep rooted issues, as we get a flashback of her going all the way back to when she was a little kid and her love for torture and seeing people hurt. As we saw that she was a very big devotee to this cause even back when she was a kid, setting people on fire, loving it, loving to torture people, loving hurting people, as we saw that darkness in her when she was first introduced. We also found out that Serpico's family was killed by that same type of torture and fire method too, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So we got that with him. He's a very quiet character, but he's a stoic character as well. And I've said it before, he's gonna end up being my personal favorite character of the series if they get into him as deep as I think that they will, without them rushing things. Like they're doing a little bit of rushing with the whole Guts and the Skull Knight thing. It's just a little bit rushing in general, but I must say that overall they are adapting the Conviction arc pretty well. And with Farnese, I mean, you can even see people within the Holy See kind of looking at her like, I don't know, maybe this chick isn't wrapped too tight. She might need one of those jackets to make her hug herself because something isn't there. And overall, the people in the Holy See, some of them even wonder, like, if what they're doing is right, or if they start to question their devotion, especially Farnese seeing the things that she's seen and run into Guts. She has a little bit of doubt of what she believes in as far as this crazy religion that we're going to follow this arc. And it's amazing, and that's just Berserk being Berserk, and this is the dark tone that Berserk has. And one of the things that makes Berserk what it is and why people love it so much are the things like this. Berserk is not a hack and slash. Of course, you know, the demons are there. Gus is badass and he cuts them down without regard, but it's the character development, it's the character moments, it's the gray areas and the morals and things like we see in this episode, and things that, you know, sometimes you can find yourself sympathizing with the bad people, or, you know, it might be somebody crazy enough to think the Holy See is right, you know, and it's those type of things that make Berserk what it is. But there's also that very dark side of Berserk that I don't think that will ever get adapted properly, but at least they tried, and that definitely happened in this episode, and that's what I want to cover next. So another big part of this episode is the type of darkness and the type of place that Berserk will take you, because if you didn't know by now, yes, it goes there. The cave scene, you know, the dark cave, a rape and torture scene. Yes, Berserk goes there quite often, and it can be quite uncomfortable. This episode altogether could be uncomfortable for someone if they're just noticing this for the first time. But if you saw the eclipse, yeah, you should be used to it by now. But the thing is, Berserk gets a lot darker than the eclipse. So that was nothing, just like I said. And this episode shows the example of that. As you know, Casca is in company of Luca and like that little girl, I forget her name right now, but they're basically ladies of the night, and they end up going with this dude named Joaquin to pretty much this cave of rape and torture. They end up going there, you know, to try to do their jobs, and they end up going to a very bad place of this cave that's full of demons, and the main demon is literally a demon with a goat head and a snake for a dick. I mean, I can't make this up. He has a snake dick. And the Joaquin guy, he had to kiss it, and it's just, that's the type of thing that Berserk does. And to see like these ladies getting there and they get violated by these demons, and it's just gonna be more of that going for Berserk down the line. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Casca even gets involved in this as monsters start to violate her as well, and it takes her back to what happened to her in the eclipse. But thankfully she was saved by that strange small little demon that Guts saw in the cave as well. last episode, I forgot what episode it was. I believe it was that last episode, but she was saved by that demon. If you can't put 2 and 2 together of what that demon is, I'm not going to spoil that for the anime onlys. Manga readers know what's up, but that thing is huge. And I think if you saw the eclipse, you pretty much know what's going on with this thing. And thankfully, it was there to save Casca. And then, you know, Luca and the girls make their escape and get out of that very dark place, as they took us to definitely the most disturbing part of Berserk that we've seen in this series so far. And again, it doesn't get any better from here. So if this isn't your type of thing, you might want to jump off the Berserk train now, as it's just going to be more, especially if they plan to go past the conviction arc. So I just wanted to touch on that as well. But Gus is on his way, thankfully, as they do make their escape. So we get to see the badass again next week as he makes his way to save Casca, and this is where things is going to pick up. But that was the episode overall. Again, it was a fine episode, and I say over and over and over again, if they can adapt this arc right at the very least, I'm willing to look past the animation and everything that they did the first time. And we don't have to talk about that every week. We just have to talk about we finally got Berserk adapted. It's a little rocky, but we at least get to see it, and there's always a manga for you to go back to, or maybe this will get people to seek out the manga. But I'm seeing, unless you're gonna find it online, those volumes are really hard to get a hold of. So I'm hoping this ganders some type of popularity, so maybe we can get some reprints or something like that, so the people who haven't experienced the Berserk world will be able to. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. That was the episode. Guys, let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section. If you liked the episode, go ahead and drop this video a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, as there's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. And speaking of that, I still got 91 days coming for you guys, as well as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so I'll have those reviews up as well. Also, as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now. Chose listening to me, and I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Infrar-Ed signing out. See you soon.